All right. When we last left off, Remy had convinced both Adria and Sabine to draw from the deck after drawing a couple pretty good cards herself. They were not as fortunate. Adria especially was unfortunate as all her magic items were disintegrated, and then she got yeeted into another plane of existence, and Sabine didn't fare much better. Actually, Adria's soul got yeeted. Sabine, her whole being was teleported elsewhere, which, you know, you saw some people like that were odd and strange looking that you didn't recognize before you were pulled back, because Remy did end up risking it, realizing that I can't do this on my own, and drew some more cards that ultimately brought the fate card. And Remy, you find yourself now standing in a void. A nothing around you but a hold on here. I'm getting some feedback from somebody.
Oh, that might be me. I can mute.
Okay. Let's see. Where is the tense music? Yeah, I can't hear it anymore. Which, thank you. Here it is, tense. You find yourself in a void. Just darkness around you until you, turning around several times, you can see yourself. So it's not lack of light that's the problem. You realize very quickly you're in a void. Your feet are touching something, but you can't distinguish the ground from any other part of the space you're in. And as you turn a couple more times, you do turn, and eventually you turn, and as if they were there the whole time, you do see 3 gargantuan floating figures, both seemingly right next to you and still far off in the distance. It's jarring. 3 white-robed figures with a gold and yellow sash interwoven between their arms, connecting all of them. You can't see into their hoods, but you can feel them looking at you as they wait with anticipation. You, having pulled the card, do gain knowledge in that you know what you drew. You know who these beings are. They are the Fates.
Remy will, Hello?
They stare back silently.
Right. Okay then. Guess that's how we'll do this. She'll try and stand up a little straighter, and I want to have never have found the temple with Kaius. I want it to never have happened.
They stiffen at your words, almost taken aback, and you see the hoods and cloaks shift as they barely turn and perceive one another before all turning back to you, and the one in the center speaks. But it sounds like a myriad of voices. It sounds like many voices. That won't change what's to come, merely delay. Are you sure?
Don't see any other way.
They nod. The one to the far right speaks. Then a boon to each of you and your allies, where your fates are tied to each other, just as ours are tied to this world. And the one on the far left looks to you. Things will be completely rewritten, as if nothing had ever happened, meaning everything that has happened to you up until this point will be gone. Any monetary value, anything of consequence, any material items, and any events which shaped you will have been unwritten. Your boon will be such. You may keep one effect or event from being unwritten. And then the center one speaks again. So choose.
I pulled another card earlier. It made me smarter. I would like to retain this knowledge.
You see their heads very quickly this time look to one another. They all in unison agreed. Your friends' boons will present themselves in time. They are currently not within our realm, and so they cannot be spoken to directly until your event unfolds. We wish you luck, Remiculus.
Perhaps one last favor?
There's another pause and shift. The one in the center with an upturned hand motions for you, almost it beckons you to keep going, keep speaking.
You told me we'd leave it after I asked for that.
Yep. As you begin to speak, things begin to unravel. You see, we pan out and we see a lot of things begin to change in the world. In reverse, it's almost like someone's rewinding a VHS tape. You see friends and foes alike come back, restored, none the wiser. You see the bloody orb that your friends were sucked into and touched, Sabine. You see it spit them back out. You see your friend never having touched it. That party that was decimated by loss never happened. They were never a group to begin with. And you find yourself in a forest. Familiar. Adria, you see things reversed. You see having met your father, your brother, coming to terms with the things that your mother has done, with your sister has done. All unmade. As you are brought back from some darkness that you... Last thing you remember is you pulled a card. And now you're shooting backwards. And you find yourself in a tent. Or no, it was your family home, wasn't it? You find yourself on leave. In your living room. The family portrait above the fireplace. Your family, you know, is still out on the lines. They haven't gotten leave yet. But it seems whatever you did worked. And Remy. You see everything that Kaius went through. It's no longer a dream to you. You have seen everything that he went through because you were with him. So when everything goes in reverse, you are able to piece together everything that happened to him. You see all the horrors he committed in his mad state, in the shadow of himself. You see the party that was split, reforged. You see purple scales unrent and whole again. You see them never having met at all. And you find yourself back home in your personal chambers. That's part of your master's, not studies or tower, but his part of his manse that he's granted. You and Kaius lived on those grounds, and you find yourself there. And not only do you find yourself there, you find yourself a little bit forward in time, per your request. And so with that, I think we'll cut from Remy to Sabine. Again, you find yourself back in the forest. You have seen everything go in reverse. You know that something happened. You don't believe you saw what happened to Adria, and then you pulled your card. So you don't. I will leave it to Sabine to decide if she thinks that what she did this, or if she knows.
So she saw Adria pull the card, or
You saw Adria pull her card and disappear, which is what made you pull cards in the first place.
right? We kind of we're trying to like pull cards at the same time.
Well, she pulled cards, and then she wasn't able to pull anymore because you saw her body fall lifeless to the ground as her soul was rent from it, which kind of forced your hand into drawing cards. The last thing you remember is Remy was goading you both to pull cards, because she did. And Adria came out the pore for it, which sort of forced your hand. And that's and the last thing you remember is pulling a card and being someplace on like this. It was almost like the deck of a ship, looking up at these very strange beings who looked down with you with the same kind of like confused, quizzical look before you were shot backwards and saw all the events of your recent days like basically unwind.
I see. So it's pretty clear what happened.
You know that you were thrown backwards in time. Everything that happened up until this point, like you got Groundhog Day'd.
Okay. I think she'll not be entirely sure whether or not the cards, like she knows the cards had something to do with this, but whether or not her pulling her card caused that to happen, she has no idea. I think if she's in her forest, she'll look for her family. She'll try and find her eldest brother, Quirion. Because he's one of the only ones who's still conscious.
Correct. Everyone that you are aware of in your family that had the gift, the druidic gifts, they are fully in their mind. It is those that do not that are the ones who are suffering. And slowly turning. Not everyone has turned. There are still members of your family and your community that are holding on, but the signs are there that things are changing.
Yeah, I'd imagine this is like right when it's starting to happen, right?
Yeah. You're aware of what this is. You're aware it's not a curse. You're aware that they're going back to their natural state. And you're aware that those who have the druidic gift are being shielded from that.
Okay.
Which is why you never turned even so far off into the future.
Okay. I think she'll try and gather her family together, at least like her mom and Quirion.
Yeah, easily.
I don't know how to explain this to you guys, but something has happened. Something potentially good. I know what's going on. And I think everybody deserves to know. And she'll explain the state of everybody returning to normal.
Okay, you've like fully explained like everything that you're aware of in its entirety. Then
I think she'll even. I think she'll go into great detail.
Yeah, so this is like something that like it takes hours, like, and they sit there like they listen fully, interjecting with like questions here and there, but like they don't. Your family speaks fairly plain, and if you remember, I'm sure you do, in the very beginning, like your character did not have the capacity to like lie because they were like, well, why would I ever do that? That's not something like why would I not tell the truth? Like, why would I falsify information? Like, the best way to communicate. So your family is the same way. You had, I believe, an older brother. Quirion does understand lying a little bit because he has gone out before out of necessity, but he himself doesn't participate. He, at the worst, tells half truths to strangers, but never to you. So you're aware. But you are aware your family fully, openly accepts what you were saying as gospel because they don't believe that you have the capacity to lie.
Even like the time travel stuff.
Yeah, they believe everything. They don't like at first like the questions seem to be of concern, especially from your mother. Your brother is silent for the first bit, but your mother asks questions, basically seeing if you're sick. Has this curse started to affect you in a way? And after some checks and some back and forth and convincing and some spell casting of curing and the like, they both come to the conclusion that no, you are in your right mind, and you are in full health. This is a truth. So, despite how outlandish it seems, if you eliminate what is possible, then the impossible becomes probable. And so that's sort of what they're taking this as. Is like, okay, this is real then. Or at the very least you believe it to be real.
Okay, that's good. I think she'll, once they've absorbed that, she'll kind of go, look, everything I've done so far is for our family, and I still intend to go forward with the promise I made with, I guess, the previous versions of you. I promised that I would find a way to fix it. And if you want me to, I will go find this wizard and find a way to keep you all from reverting back. Or maybe I'll find a different way that doesn't require them. But is that something you guys want?
They look to one another, and it's your brother who speaks. We're still all a community and family, and so if we can prevent ourselves from reverting back to beasts, I think that we should. This is good, though, because we know the gift of the forest prevents us from becoming beasts. So our plan to try to cure and stave off with healing and with curatives isn't going to work. So we have to begin lessons. If we can teach people the gift, then maybe that can slow it down or circumvent it. But I still think going out would be worth it. You might find answers or magics elsewhere that can fix it if we can't.
Okay. I think that's a very good plan. do I know if this is something that's teachable? Like, it's more of a tradition, right? Than like an innate magical.
Yeah, like your family is basically like you're all druids, and so like you've taught, like you were taught it growing up. So like it was almost like expected. Like, yeah, you were gonna become a druid. Like it's not possible for you to not be, because your whole family is. So you grew up being taught it. And there were some whose gifts were so strong they couldn't be ignored and were taught it just simply to prevent them from causing harm or damage. But for the most part, it was just accepted that your family was the ones who did that. Like, that was your family's job in the community. Like, that was what you guys did. Like, you were, like, essentially, before you knew the truth, like, you were considered royalty. That's why you had the gift. That's the lore that was passed down. You had the gift because of those things. Like, that's why. Now that you know the truth, you're just like, oh, we were just innate and we learned it, and that's what ended up preventing us from turning. So now your family is like, well, maybe it can be taught. Your brother thinks that anyway.
I think Sabine would, whether or not it's a false hope, she would believe that too. I think that's an excellent idea. I think I will go out into the world and see if I can find any better alternatives. But in the meantime, I agree that it should be taught to everybody.
We'll do our best with the rest of the families here. It's better than trying to cure something that seems like is going to happen regardless. So we won't be wasting our time. At least if we can save anyone, then at least now we have a better idea on how to do it.
I have a friend who's a powerful wizard. Perhaps maybe this is something I could beseech her about.
Your mother speaks up now. When you went out before, were you safe? You kind of glossed over a lot of details.
No. I mean, the peace initiative isn't exactly the most peaceful thing. We're preventing tragedies, and I was not safe a lot of the time, but I did have cohorts with me. I wasn't alone.
But now you know some of what's going to happen, so you can avoid those things, right?
I could.
Then perhaps you should.
I could avoid those things. I could also, I don't know, I feel morally obligated now to things that may happen.
Well, at least
I have the power to prevent them.
You survived those things, though, so now you might be better equipped to deal with them, right? Just don't put yourself in a position that hurts you. Don't bite off more than you can chew just because you think you know. Better happy animals in a forest than a dead daughter and a weeping mother.
I think Sabine will she'll definitely chew on that and kind of nod her head. I understand, Mom. I won't push myself too hard.
Now, it's not as if we didn't think you were going anyway. This is just more information now, so it's both scarier now and also comforting at the same time that you know what's going to happen, but also scary knowing all of that happened. So, kind of still a mixed bag. I feel like it's sort of an emotionally moot point, but a lot to process, I think.
I'm honestly, this just seems like the situation regarding how this happened was maybe a little tense, but it does seem like a second chance. And in the previous time, most of you were already past the point of no return, but maybe we can nip that in the bud this time.
Well, regardless of the future you saw, it's not going to stop us from trying.
Yeah. I think Sabine will spend at least a couple weeks helping them. I don't know, helping spread the teachings of the druid to the rest of the clan.
Okay, roll me. What are we gonna call this? It's not gonna be performance because that's tied to charisma, and you're teaching druid. Let's call it a straight up wisdom. Roll me just a wisdom roll.
Sure, I can do that.
There's 3 DCs, 10, 15, and 20. And things will vary based on what you roll.
Okay. Just 1d20 plus wisdom modifier,
Plus
right?
your wisdom. Yep, correct.
Okay, that's an exclamation point. Okay, that's a 17.
Not bad. You do manage. Your younger siblings, the ones who are they hadn't started yet, they start getting lessons early from your mother. She kind of kept up with the community in general is what her whole deal was. She kind of passed off a lot of the responsibilities to the older kids to start taking over and start handling that business. She starts teaching the younger ones early. And your family in and of itself it seems like they're starting to get it. Even your youngest has begun to grasp the semblance of just the spell druid craft, making a flower blossom. So the magic is there. They're able to do it. You begin to try to teach some of the actual families that are here. Some of them look to be too far gone. Some of them are not able to hold a conversation for longer than a couple minutes before beginning to snarl and eyes glazing over. You see the intelligence, knowing what you know, you see some of the intelligence that they have dissipate and gloss over, and it comes and goes. Some of them are far gone, but you manage to save quite a few folks and get them to start very basic, very, very basic. They're nowhere near the level of a level 1 druid, but they're on the way. You've gotten them a good start to be able to start going into your older brother has started full on in the forest, big classes, in droves trying to get people. He has basically gone into full all right, this is the only way this is going to happen sort of a situation. He knows now what he can. Before they were smashing their heads against the tree trunk, so to speak, trying to find out what they could do to stop this. Now that he has a direction, you can see he's running with it. There's some progress. Some of it's slow going. Some people he feels like he might not be able to save. It might be too late, but he's going to save who he can in case you can't prevent whatever happens happening. He's going to save as much of his community as he can. You with your 17 help quite a bit get a lot of these families started. So it's going to make his job in the coming days a lot easier. You feel as it stands right now, with the progress you're seeing, if all it takes is being able to cast a couple druidic spells to prevent the shift from happening, if that's all it takes, you're well on your way to saving at least 50% of your community.
Okay.
As opposed to literally just the handful of your family and some of the random folks, which is a total of 2 to 3% of the entire community. So your community will still be a community at the end of this, with this having gone back in time and giving this knowledge and pushing as hard as you did. to be determined how much more of this community can be saved, if it can be at all,
Right.
with that
Okay.
roll. But with that, your days would start to come to a close, and you would begin to, as you were originally, set out for your journey towards Sanctuary, having communicated with Adria and Sabine that is where you plan to meet. And with that, we will jump to Adria, having been sent back in time. You are in your family home.
I would say when she wakes up thinking that she's done something pretty cool, and knowing that she's alone, she'll like throw up 2 fists in the air in silent celebration.
your family's butler peeks in. Hey, ma'am. Good.
Wait, we have a butler?
Yeah, you have your family is modestly wealthy. Like, you have a man, like a manor. Like, you don't have
I thought it was just a house.
No, you don't have like a ton of servants. It's like I don't know, it's a fairly big, like, it's not a mansion, but it's like 8-9 bedrooms. Like, there's totally a servant's quarters. You have like a butler and a cook / maid. That's it. Your mom didn't really like even feel the need for that, but like it was sort of like they came with the place, and so she wasn't gonna like kick people out. So she's very hands off with them.
Cool. She'll like quickly drop her fists. And she'll, yeah, that sounds great.
Gee, it is.
First, she's gonna take stock of everything that she lost, which is pretty much everything.
Yeah, you have nothing. You have what you are, like what you would normally have in this moment. Like, you're wearing your clothes. You're not in armor. You're not in your gear. You don't have anything. I'll say this: you do look down and notice something. You almost start to believe, like, did I like doze off? Did that all happen? Like, what the fuck is, like, it's jarring. What the fuck happened? Like, you don't have any of the scars. You don't have any of like the bruises. None of the soreness from like the previous fights. And I would have say Sabine, I forgot to mention this, Sabine and Remy would have also noticed this in this moment. The ring that you got from the leaden scales is still on your finger.
Oh shit.
You almost each believe, like, for a moment, did that happen? Like, did I dream that? Like, that, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe that was all a very weird, elaborate, fucked up dream. Like, what did I take? And then you see that ring. And I would say Sabine definitely had seen Chwinga, like, all around in the forest.
Okay.
Adria, you don't really see any of them in here in your home, but you do see the ring.
Huh. She'll, like, stretch, crack her neck, and she'll get tea really fast, and then she will, like, set about with some very specific plans, first of which, sending a message to both Remy and Sabine.
So you don't have the ability to cast message, so you're going into town, and your family is, I believe the term is Mance? I could be wrong.
Just
Term for what?
Mance.
Just to interject, I don't know how segmented we want it to be, but I would assume Sabine would probably use Dream at some point in the prior month.
Yeah, you would have all contacted one another, and like, this is just Adria's, like, her first, like, I'm gonna go run and tell, like, see if I can get in contact with them, like, which is how, like, you all would have begun to start getting into contact. So then, yeah, you would have cast Dream, you would have cast messages between one another, and start setting up that meet, like, realizing, like, yes, it is in fact, like, all three of us remember what happened, and we need to meet, and we need to handle our own personal business and then meet in Sanctuary. Yeah, Mance is technically correct. So yeah, you're Mance. You run from your Mance to the nearest messaging place. How are you?
This fucking
What
old lady.
Hello.
Wait, she won't recognize me.
Hello. Wait a minute.
Oh damn.
Wait. Have I seen you before?
Maybe I live here. I'm gonna play it vague.
No. Hold on.
Could you send a message, couple messages for me with the spell message?
I remember something. You're
It's a
rude. How do I know that?
Genuinely nice.
How do I know that? It's not deja vu, but close. She slaps her hand on the table. You fucked with time. Didn't you?
Oh,
You a chronology wizard?
do I look like a wizard?
I don't know. You fucked with time.
No, really. Do I look like a wizard? She's like concerned. Like, did you mistake me for a wizard?
She kind of like raises an eyebrow. Oh, yes, I remember. Stupid, too.
Can you
It's
send
coming.
a message for me?
It's coming back. Do you have money?
Yes.
You do not have the money that you had.
No, but I would have at least enough gold to send 3 messages, I would think.
You can send them like normal style.
Okay, that's fine.
You wouldn't have the ability to like. It's like I think it was like 25 gold per like actual magic message. 75 gold is a lot for Adria pre-sanctuary.
Okay, then I'll start writing down messages.
You would do so. But she's like looks up at you. She's looking quizzically. What did you do?
Nothing. She's still writing.
You fucked with time. Like I've established that. Like I'm not entirely here, so I'm sort of kind of like displaced. If you hadn't shown up, I'd probably be none the wiser, but I'm starting to remember some shit.
Wait. Do you remember my deal with Ilya and sending messages?
The handsome gentleman in the northern country and in the arena?
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of him. I'm not really entirely aware of like your dealings with him. It's still like this just happened. You showed up here and I remember you fuck with time. It's all kind of slapping together for me.
Well, then I guess it's gonna have to be a letter.
Okay,
she finishes up these 3 letters and slides them across the counter.
Who are they to?
One's to Sabine, one's to Remy, one's to Ilya.
She looks at the one to Ilya. What does it say?
I can message you.
Message me what it says, but regardless of what it says, she looks at it, looks at you. He's gonna want to see this one now. And she snaps her fingers in the letter, like in like a gout of flame just kind of like flares and is gone. He'll pay for it. Don't worry about it.
Thanks.
I'm waiting for you to send me that. She takes the other 2 and hands it off to you the gif. She hands it off to two runners who split off and begin speeding away with your messages.
And so Remy and Sabine know those 2 messages are basically like, we did it! We should meet up and talk about it. You can either come to my place or suggest something else. And then I give her my address.
Yeah, you get, like, I would say, like, maybe a week later, you guys get them each. So, like, you guys, while you're doing your own individual things back home, Remy doing what you would obviously be doing with Kaius and company, and then Sabine with you teaching your family and your community, like, you would have gotten a letter. Your brother would have basically been, like, the one who got the letter. Because he's the only one who shows up to the edge of the forest. Because no one comes into the forest. Even, like, like they will if they have to, but they typically will wait on the edge of the forest and like hand off the letter to the one who's like the community lead essentially, which is your brother at this point. So he gives you that letter, and that's when the dreaming and the conversations begin to start. But that's all for a little bit in the future, Adria, to know, because time is fucky, and that's how we're doing it here. Okay. The second that they walk out the room, the old lady behind the counter goes, "He's probably gonna be here in a second, so if you've got anything you want to chat about with me, we should probably do it before he gets here. He's probably gonna be pretty weirded out. So let's get some practicing with you filling me in, because he's probably gonna be in the same fucking
I'm
state I
sorry.
am."
She leans onto the counter, and in the past few minutes, you've insulted me, belittled me, and now you're demanding that I tell you what happened. That's
Yep.
a no.
No, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, you do like the services that we provide for you here, right?
I do, and I pay for them. That
Yeah,
doesn't
would
mean
you
I have to take your bullshit or tell you
Would
my secrets.
Would you like to continue to pay for them and receive them? She points to a sign behind her that says "Right to refuse service to anyone for any reason."
Do you really want to make Ilya mad?
Really? You're gonna try to do that bullshit with me? I'm not afraid of
I
him.
don't know you!
Listen, he's hot, but he's not that hot. Calm down.
I'll be waiting outside.
Your funeral. Because now I won't forget.
Apparently you never do.
Me or any of myselves. We're gonna remember this one. So,
She closes the door.
wait, I remember you had a friend. How is she? She okay?
Oh my god.
You do close the door still?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'll wait outside.
You get Sabine. You also get another note from the old lady, from Wand, asking if you're okay. She vaguely remembers. She vaguely remembers she was supposed to check on you. She can't remember why. She doesn't remember exactly who you are, but she has a very strong feeling she's supposed to check on you and if you're okay.
Can she give the wand girl who delivered it a return message?
Yeah, write it out, and we'll deal with Adria and Ilya here for a second. You go outside. As you step outside, you see Ilya standing there. Well, kiddo, you really stepped in it.
She starts walking towards the soldier camp.
Where are you going?
Without stopping, she'll turn to him and say, "About an hour ago, my mother was dead. She's not anymore."
You should stop for a second, because he kind of pauses and rubs his temples. She's not. That incident isn't set to happen for weeks.
Right.
Take a breath. If you
I'm allowed to go see her.
You are, yeah. I'm not going to stop you. I'm saying give pause. If you go to her and say the wrong thing, you will kill her. She will have a heart attack. So let's talk about what happened, what's going on, and then moving forward.
She's made of sterner stuff.
Not as much as you think, kid. Also,
what do you suggest I tell her then?
I suggest you and I sit down for a second somewhere quiet and talk about what the fuck is happening, first of all, because I'm a bit discombobulated.
I pulled 5 cards from the deck.
The deck?
The deck, yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because there was...
Tell him it was me!
There... Oh, damn, that's tempting. I wasn't thinking about that.
He looks at you. Why would you do that?
There was no solutions present. You told us the world is fucked or the world is fucked. And so we took a chance.
How did you even get the deck? Rizbane had the deck last I remember.
Remy may have gotten it.
That name sounds so familiar. I'm not 100% with you. I remember you. I remember having all my kids again and being very happy.
Oh.
Shut up. And perplexed. At you mostly. No, at Andrew as well. Both you and Andrew were adamant you weren't going. That's right, I was going to get you to safety because the world was fucked, yes. And you and Andrew were the two problem children, which was surprising.
I unfucked it. You're welcome.
Well, we need to talk about how you did that. Which card did you draw?
Wish.
And what did you wish for?
For it to be gone. For it to be not happen. For it to... God, what did I wish for? I wished for him to be gone, right? For the god?
You wished for Halatash to like, not exist, essentially.
Yes, I say that.
And he looks at you and he goes, did
She
you draw any
smiles.
more cards after that?
Yeah.
He puts his hands together and like kind of points them at you. As you remember them, what were they? What was the next card you drew?
I'd say the order. Player me does not remember it. Adria would.
I think you only ended up drawing 3 cards. You said like you were going to draw like 4 or 5, and you only ended up getting like 3. The first one you drew was Wish, funnily enough.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He looks at you and he kind of waits for you. Like you see the Talon card, and all your magic items got fucking shit canned. And then you remember the word of the you remember the word, but you don't remember what it did. The last card, which was Void. And he looks at you and he breathes deep. And he goes, I don't know how to tell you this, kiddo. You died. You're not anymore. You're not anymore, which is good. You know,
Good.
No need to totally freak out about it.
Well, then I'm not worried about it.
But your wish didn't happen.
Well, obviously it did.
I mean, how to put this delicately? If your wish had happened, the deck would not exist anymore.
Why?
Who do you think made the deck?
I don't know.
It didn't just exist, it was made in a time and place by a being of infinite knowledge as they were fledgling. If you wished for Halatash to not exist, the deck would not either. So your wish could not come true because it's a paradox. And so it negated it. Which is why the other cards were drawn. So it seems like something else happened to get us to where we are right now. And he kind of points with both fingers down at the ground between you both. So it's good. I vaguely remember we have some time between now and when that bullshit happens. We can get you situated. I'm glad that we can speak in this time. I'm glad that you thought to contact me. I'm very happy you decided you still want me in your life. It means I didn't totally fuck up when we met, it seems like. But there's still work to do. And there's a group of people we need to contact about moving forward. They're a very secretive group. I'm not
This
part
group, she flashes the ring.
Ah! Yes. That's good. How do you still have that?
Oh. Bummer about the wish, though.
Weird. We'll need to figure that out. What is that made out of? He like kind of grabs your hand and like flips your hand over. What is that?
She like takes her hand away and she's, that's mine.
I'm not going to take it from you. I have one. Like, they kicked me out of the group. They couldn't take it back from me. I still have mine. I just don't wear it. You don't want to wear the ring of a group you got kicked out of. You know, it's kind of a weird move, right?
I don't know. I'd kind of do it anyway, just to piss him off. Anyways.
Anyway, weird move. But that's strange that didn't reset and everything else did. Were you part of that group before?
Mm-hmm.
No, I meant like not before this, like this moment here in time.
She's still kind of like confused with the idea of time travel, and so she kind of looks around the world that she's in, and no? I'm gonna say no.
Okay. It's fuzzy for me. I think that there are going to be people here that remember, and there are people here that are not. The average person will not. Beings like myself, the kind, wand, proprietus, will remember. Beings like us will remember. Beings that are sort of here and not. I have some things to check on. People to check on. You'll want to see your mother. I would do your best to convince her to not be where she was when what happened to her. You said she died. I do remember that. I don't remember how. It's going to take me a while to remember some stuff. It's sort of there's two brains in my head right now, kind of trying to mash together. Square, block, in the round hole situation.
She's just watching him with a brow lifted, watching him struggle to talk.
He's like looking at you and also not like he's like kind of talking to you and at you. Like he's struggling right now. You could see he is of two minds.
Okay,
might reach out to your uncle. I might need his help with something. Anyway, see your mother, see your sister, mend bridges. Yes, you know Andrew's alive. Don't try to force him to do something he's not interested in doing. He is more stubborn than you and your sister combined.
I think he's better off in nowhere, but I just want them to know where he is.
Now, I vaguely remember there was a problem going on in nowhere. Was there?
Oh yeah, the snake's gonna come alive.
That's also not great.
Nope.
I didn't remember that part. Okay, I've gotta go. You go do your thing. I gotta go help my son. And he fucking turns.
Wait.
You see his foot half disappeared. And he turns and looks at you. Yeah?
Could you make sure she like kind of gestures over to the wand shop and be like, those messages actually get delivered, please?
Did you already pay?
Yes.
They'll get delivered. He kind of like pulls his foot back and his foot reappears. He looks at you. You know she's kind of like me, right? Like an otherworldly, and she's not like a devil, but she's like me in that she's an otherworldly entity, but not quite a god.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. I was really hoping she'd forget.
No, we don't. Beings like us don't. We eventually remember. It takes more jarring than others. Luckily for you, she did, to get me that message so quickly. I'll talk to her, but I think that you talking to her and smoothing things over will go a longer way. But I'll talk to her. She's not... To you, I'm your father, so I'll always have your best interest at heart. I'm not a good person. Full disclosure, end statement. When it comes to you, I will do the right thing by you every single time I can and am able. Otherwise, I'm not a great person. She's a better person than I am. You can trust Grella. Unless
I'll buy
you
her a
piss
gift.
her off. Yeah, the gift would be a good idea. I don't know what she likes, so good luck. I'll see you. I'll talk to her. Any messages you want to send to me, I will have paid for. Anybody else you want to send a message to, you gotta talk to her about that. But she's every single time you send a message, it's an actual literal contract with her. So your friends will get their messages. Gotta go. Gotta see your brother about a snake. Goodbye. He turns around and he disappears as he turns.
Anyway, she begins walking over to the soldier camp.
Yeah, we'll cut to that here in 1 second. Let me read this. The letter that Sabine is sending. You get a reply like immediately, like in your head.
Mhm.
Glad to know you're okay. Still confused who you are, but I did feel genuine relief for you to tell me you're good. Any city, come to the wine shop, and we should chat and figure out what is happening. And in the time that you would in these like months, would you go to speak to Grella?
I think so. Honestly, I think she would.
When you go to Plautos to reestablish your friendship with the blacksmith?
Yeah, I think she would dream contact Grella to let her know that she's going to Plautos.
Cool, we'll touch on that after Adria sees... So we'll finish up Adria's, we'll touch on that, then we'll jump to Remy for a minute, and then we'll go to you guys all meeting back up in person.
Cool.
So Adria, you end up getting your horse. You get back out to the field. You get some looks of like, the fuck's she doing here? Like, why are you here? Like some of your, I mean, like, you're friendly with people here. Like, you're a soldier. Like, you're abrasive for sure, but like, so are soldiers. Speaking from actual personal experience. So like, you have friends here, or friendly acquaintances rather. So you get people who are like, what the fuck? You missed killing that badly? Like, a lot of those comments. But you do find your mother's war tent. She is going over some plans with some people, and she looks up at you and raises an eyebrow.
Go to wait quietly in the back.
She looks to her war party. For now, please go about the plans as I've laid them out. I will send for instructions as necessary.
Is Adele here? Can I have someone send for Adele?
Yeah, as one of the people leaves, you can ask like one of them to.
Okay,
You recognize like her, like kind of like her commander, I guess. Walk past you, and you can ask for her.
Oh, good. She can't say no. All right.
I mean, like, she's your sister's commander, but like this woman outranks you.
No, I mean Adele can't say no to her.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like if this person commands her Adele to go, like Adele has to go, and will. Like Adele's a shit to you, but she's a good soldier. She follows orders. And recently she's been a very good soldier. And now that you've gone back in time, you're aware she has had contact with your father, and so she has had some extra oomph.
Oh, so she knows now.
Yeah. She's like, when you found out about Adele, like you knew, like Adele knew about your dad Adele and Andrew for a hot minute.
Oh.
She
then
never
I
let
probably
your mother...
wouldn't have sent what I just sent.
Okay. She didn't let your mom knew that she knows. Which is what.
And she didn't let her know about Andrew?
Yeah, she didn't let your mom know about Andrew. She didn't let you know about Andrew. Mostly because of like the whole deal with Ilya, like, and the way shit works. So I remember you being mad about it, but like, after Ilya, like, you had a conversation with Ilya in, like, private, like, you were like, okay, I get it. Like, she wasn't allowed to. That tracks.
Okay, so once everyone leaves the tent, Adria's gonna do something very uncharacteristic.
Okay.
She's gonna walk up to her mom and give her a big hug.
What is she, like, your mom kind of, like, grabs your shoulders and kind of moves you back, and, like, does the mom thing? She's got, like, a gauntleted glove, so she's like, she, like, kind of uses a hand to, like, move your hair out of your face and, like, puts her forehead against yours to feel if you have a fever. No fever. And she kind of, like, moves your head around and sees if you've got, like, any wounds or what has gotten into you. Do you have, like, why are you here? You're on leave. You have another 3 months.
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I've missed you.
Okay. I'm glad.
I have something to tell you and Adele.
Great. Well, you did talk. I did see you speak to her commander briefly. I'm assuming that's to go get her. Sit. And she motions for you to take a seat at one of the little, like, it's like a folding, like, almost camp chair. It's still a tent. Like, you're in the field. There aren't permanent structures here because where you're needed at the gap does shift and change. So you had to be very mobile here. But there are a lot of amenities in this war tent. You see there's a desk, there's an actual mattress, like a bed, a desk. Like, she has, like, many people who, like, work out. Like, for someone who doesn't like servants at home, she does have field servants. She considers that very different than, because they're technically soldiers. Still all female. There are no males at the gap, with the exception of the occasional assistance from Lord Risbane when things get a little bit dicier or things start to veer off into unknown territory. But for the most part, there are no men at the gap. It is the Queen's Guard and her paladins, which you and your mother are part of.
Since Adele is on the way and Adele already knows, I do want to, like, kind of like, they wouldn't be touchy. She'll lean forward and say, I have good news for you.
Oh?
She nods and Andrew's alive.
She kind of raises an eyebrow. Now I know you're sick.
She shakes her head, and I've met him myself.
She furrows her brow and frowns. And when was this?
That's the tricky part. You see, I've kind of time traveled.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Hold. Which you know is an actual military command. Which means stay your presence. Like basically, like, in your place, be at attention. And she stands up and moves to, like, the tent flaps and opens the door, and you see one of the servants standing there. She's like, fetch the combat medic. The best one. Finetris, please. Quickly. It is urgent. She turns back around and sits down at the desk, and she, like, time travel. Please, go on.
So she doesn't believe me.
No, not even kind of. She thinks that you are ill, and I don't know how much you in real life know about shock, but, like, the best thing or, like, someone who's, like, having an episode, the best thing to do is play along with them until, like, help arrives. That's what she's doing with you. She's essentially placating you until, like, the medic arrives.
Then she'll add on to that, and she'll say, Andrew is safe because Ilya has been protecting him.
Her face drops. Do
you believe me now?
You see the tent flaps open, and you see the servant, a servant, and the best field medic that the Queen's Guard has to offer is Philitris. She begins to walk in, and you see your mother, like, without breaking eye contact, who holds her hand up. I apologize, Mistress Philtress. It seems that I called you before having all the facts. I will speak with you after. I apologize for inconveniencing you. We are good here. You're dismissed. And without, like, no look, like, there's no expression on this woman's face at all, this medic turns around, like, in mid-step, turns on her heel, and walks right back out. You are aware of this woman. She is very good at what she does. She's basically considered, like, a combat angel, like a medic, like an angel on the battlefield. Like, if you're dying and she gets to you, you're good. But she's also very, like, muted in all of her emotions, and she's gone. No expression, gone. Out. The servant, on the other hand, like, scrambles to, like, be like looks back and forth, and, like, ends up, like, following her right back out with, like, a very stern look from your mother. It's just you and your mother again, and she levels her look at you. What was that name you said one more time?
Yeah, I know about Ilya.
She, like, you hear, like, the plate mail in her gauntleted fist, like, you hear the metal creak as she, like, clenches a fist. And how did you come to learn about Ilya?
To be fair, he still kept his contract with you, because technically you were dead.
He would have to, I imagine. She, like, bites her lip, and you could see, like, a tiny bit of blood drawn. Like, she's furious.
Yeah,
You have seen her this mad twice in your life, and neither times was the outcome great. And she, like, takes a deep breath and lets go. Let's start with the good news first.
Okay, so
give me a second. I need to go back in my mind and reabsorb everything you said to me as if it was actually truth and not you being addled. Andrew's alive. And she, like, chokes a little bit. Andrew's alive.
Yes. He's located in a swamp called Nowhere. And he's very happy.
She kind of, like, covers her mouth for a second. In the Drainlands?
Yes.
I don't have leave for another 3 months. You'll go get your brother.
No.
Bring him home. Yes, you will. You'll get your
He
brother.
will not leave there. You can go see him. He'll welcome you. He doesn't leave there.
I don't have leave for another 3 months, Atria.
Then join the initiative with me.
I am a commander in the Queen's Guard. That offer doesn't extend to me. It extends to foot soldiers.
He's content, and he runs the place. He won't leave it. Even when she'll pause, and then the world was crashing down around us, and he still wouldn't leave that place.
Okay. Your sister walks through into the tent. She goes, "Oh, am I interrupting something? I can come back."
No, I need you here for this.
Your mother looks at her. Sit down. And she, not a word, walks over, sits down in the seat next to you. And your sister gives you, like, a look, like, raises an eyebrow of, like, a look passes between you. She's like, "What the fuck is happening? What's going on? What the fuck's going on? Like, what did you do?"
What did you do? Rude. She gives her that look back. and like a rude.
And she, like, raises both eyebrows and, like, shrugs her shoulders at you in, like a very, like, I don't know if you have siblings. Like, this is something, like, siblings do.
Nope.
I've got 2. Well, no, I've got 3 technically. Like she gives you the shoulder shrug and both eyebrows raised of like, how the fuck am I supposed to know? You've been here longer than me. Like, you tell me what's happening. Your mother looks at her and goes, have you been in contact with Ilya? And your sister's eyebrows raise again, this time in shock, and then she looks at you and raises another eyebrow of like, you also know?
She'll give a subtle nod.
Yeah, I was, in danger. I was on a scouting mission, as you know, last month, and I was beset upon by a demon that I wasn't prepared to handle. I wasn't paying attention. I was being more cavalier than I should have been, and according to him, per the contract, he was allowed to step in life-endangering situations, and that's when I met him. Your mother takes a deep breath through her nose and looks and levels a look. You don't exist in this moment, Adria. And she looks at your sister, and were you aware about your brother's survival? And your sister looks at you again, and this time, like, kind of like fear shock. And she's like,
Adria just meets her gaze.
she looks to her mother, definitely fear in her face. Andrew told me that he did not wish for you to be aware of his presence. And so I thought the best thing to do to honor my brother would be to adhere to his wishes. And your mother slams a fist on the table and takes a deep breath. I was hoping I would never have to do this again. She pulls out this small wooden box from a pouch on her side and opens it, and you see these small little sticks. And she snaps one, and smoke comes out of it, and you can smell a couple different things. It smells like brandy and iron and sulfur. And you see a person appear about 10 feet away from you, and it's Ilya, and he's like, and I need to know exactly. And he looks around confused. Oh, I see you've told your mother.
Warned you I would. I believe I said, brace yourself.
You did. Fair point, daughter mine. I hoped I had more time to talk to your brother. It seems he is still as stubborn. But, by the way, starting to remember most of it. The time gap. Benefits of being a denizen of hell for as long as I have been on another plane of existence. However, still fuzzy on some details. We will have to catch up later. And my ex is here. Hello, honey? Question mark? Your mother looks like she's gonna kill him. With just her look. She looks at you, Adria. It seems that you have the most level head here, and I've always trusted your counsel.
She doesn't say that out loud.
No, your mother says that to you.
I know. She's confused. Go on.
Oh. You have always been the most level-headed of my children. Well, of my daughters, before I realized my son was still alive. She levels a look at Ilya, who raises an eyebrow. Your contract, not mine. She inhales through her nose again. She does not look at Ilya, looks at you again. I need you to mediate.
You know, there's There's a lot more that I have to tell you. Perhaps you should hear that before this.
Ilya backs you up with, she's right. This is bigger than our admittedly complex family squabbles. Dear, you die here soon.
You told me to not say that.
So that I could. I'm
He's
not
right.
going to have my daughter bear that burden. You, honey, you die. And your
Right
mother-
next to me on the battlefield.
Don't call me honey. Ilya shrugs. Regardless, you die. You leave our daughters to their own devices well before they're ready. And they have to find their way, and they stumble and struggle. For the most part, succeed. From what I remember, they all connected. Your contract with me is what stopped everyone from connecting. I'm not passing blame to you. I understand why your contract did what it did and why you did what it did. I understand why you kept them from me. But this world is going to die if you do not listen to what your daughter has to say. Take heed. And he looks to you, Adria, to continue.
Halatash is coming.
Your mother
I
raises
thought-
an eyebrow. Am I supposed to know who Hash Brown is?
Hash brown.
Okay. He's the world eater, basically. And for the past, I don't know, few months, we've been trying to stop him. I thought we did. And I guess we just got yeeted back in time instead. So now we have a second chance before things get bad again. There's a group that I'm going to meet with at the initiative to start back where we left off. But you should know here, especially because the rift is going to be suddenly very empty, as the demons know what's coming and don't want any part of it.
Let's go in reverse order of what you said. What do you mean by the gap will be empty?
I glanced to Ilya.
Dear, demons invade because if they invade and encroach upon enough of a material plane, it absorbs into the layer of the abyss, and she waves a hand. I know this.
Listen,
What does she mean by it will be empty? And he goes, well, Halatash is encroaching upon this material plane. And if they absorb it, that means that Halatash will still be focused on, which means that he will absorb all of the layers of the abyss. Think of it this way. Demons invade material planes to absorb it into layers of the abyss. Halatash does the same, but on a scale much grander than demons. So think of Halatash as a demon on steroids. Sorry, steroids are a drug that make one stronger.
she looks to her mother. The point is, with the gap empty, the armies here could help try to stop Halatash.
Ilya kind of like shakes his head at that, and your mother sees him and looks at you. How would we be able to help?
I don't know yet, but knowing that we have the ability to call upon you is enough, especially if that snake comes to life. She glances at Ilya. Which would be a whole nother problem.
The snake is months away. That's not a thing.
Yet.
No, it won't be a thing. You're going to Sanctuary. You're still going to do the initiative. I've worked it all out. It won't be a problem. You're going to still join the initiative. You're just not going to join the group you joined. I'm going to pull some strings. If the leaden scales remember what you remember, if they are still in the same boat as you, we should be able to pull some strings to get your party changed. And if we do that, Snake Priest is never, let out. You guys never go there and do all that. Well, not you specifically. You were doing political bullshit, despite your objections. The other group, the group Sabine was a part of, the Wolf Lady. Is that right? She's a wolf, right?
Sure.
But a lady, again, super fuzzy. Her group, they got wiped. Full party down almost. They're not going to be a thing because she's going to join you at the initiative, so Snake Priest doesn't get out. So Snake coming back, not a problem. Totally good. Still talk to your brother. Still being a stubborn ass about it. He looks to your mom. We'll talk about Andrew. I'd probably die. He looks at you, Adria. I'm probably gonna die after this conversation with your mom, so... anything you gotta say to me, say it now. But snake thing, not a problem. Not an issue. Non-starter. I've been very busy.
And it's settled, right? She looks at her mother.
She does not look away from Ilya. For now.
You have to work with him for the moment.
She takes a deep breath. You all right? The truth is, I blamed him for Andrew, which is what caused problems between me and him. You were very young, you may not remember, but he was part of our lives in our home. But when Andrew happened, I blamed him instead of myself. And I sent him away, which is probably why you don't remember him. And so it seems him and I have a lot to talk about. Going forward. It turns out that I might be the problem. Regardless of our family squabbles, we don't have the Queen's Guard to command for this Halatash presence, as you suggest. I have to be frank with you. I am a general in the Queen's army. I stand below the Queen. I still have to present her with this, and she motions to all of you and herself, and hope she takes my word. I have been loyal for nearly 20 years in the Queen's Guard and have risen through the ranks quite fast. I am one of the youngest generals here. However, I could hardly tell the Queen my daughter went back in time and saw the world ending and that we might need to fight a god no one's ever heard of.
Well, perhaps you don't say it until the gap grows quiet and the threat of Halatash becomes more imminent.
Your father is better at sowing seeds than I am. He was the farmer, I was the soldier. So, once me and him get past our squabbles, we'll find a way. For now, it's as he says. You have a lot of work to do. She looks at your sister. You are going to the Drainlands. I'm going to have your commander put you on a separate military duty, and you're going to your brother, and you're going to assist him in whatever he needs, and let him know that I know. Your sister, who has been uncharacteristically quiet, continues to be quiet and nods.
Can I, like, raise a brow at her?
Your sister looks at you and, like, shrugs and, like, what do you want me to do? I'm basically, anytime you interact with your sister, it's going to be a very silent, like, exchange of, like, a full conversation. There's going to be, like, she's going to shrug, and then I'm going to give you a full paragraph, because that's how siblings work. For anyone who has siblings, you probably can back me up on that. But she shrugs in a way of, like, the fuck am I supposed to do in this situation? You put me in, you dick.
I give her a small smile that shows her I know exactly what I did.
Yeah. I am a dick, but you're a bigger dick, and now, go to the swamp, you bitch, is the face you give her. And she kind of, like, sighs in, like, a... You got me, but I'm not gonna fucking ever admit it. And she kind of, like, fist to heart, nods to your mom. Of course, General. And your mother slams a fist on the table. Oh my god. Can you, for a second, stop being such a frigid bitch? For your mother to say this is wild, because she has never called out your sister directly. Who, your sister, by the way, looks very shocked. Sorry, Mother. This is a lot to take in. I will go see Auntie and do my best to help him and try to ease him into this situation, as I understand it. Good. Then go. Please. With a final withering glance at you, she leaves. Your mother looks to you, Adria. I think your father and I have a lot to discuss. I trust you. I'm going to put you in as having accepted the initiative now, so you can be given full military leave indefinitely. Do what has to be done. Take care, and please keep me in the loop.
Say I will. And then look at Ilya and give him like a play nice type of look. And then I'll just kind of pat her and leave.
He mouths to you, "Don't leave, I'm gonna die." But you do. You leave. And we'll cut to Sabine. Real quick. Meeting with Grella. You have gotten to Nexilus. You've met with the blacksmith. You went through all the motions to become friends with him again.
Mm-hmm.
You have reestablished that friendship, that connection. And you find yourself at the wand shop, and Grella turns to see you. Ah! I recognize you.
Yeah.
I sent you the letter. I was worried about you. Yes, I remember. I've started to remember more. There was a bunch of weird fuckery with your patron.
Which one?
Oh, there was multiple. That's right.
Yeah.
You were worried about some dickhead named Weaver I've never heard of. And then Ilya. And you were on the fence about that one. Right? Is that right?
I think so. I was on the fence with Weaver, but you were worried about my family.
Yes. They were turning into something.
Animals.
Animals.
Yeah.
Wait, no, they were already animals. Right?
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
we were already animals. And then some guy, I guess, experimented on us and gave us sapience, and then his spells started to wear off and he just didn't give a shit.
That sounds like wizards.
Yeah. But I'm still reeling from all this too. I don't know how much you remember, but to update you, my family's doing a lot better, surprisingly.
That's good.
There's been some weird time things happening, and
Yes, I feel that.
beneficial for me.
I feel that. Full disclosure, I'm something called a djinn. You know what a djinn is?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool. So clean slate. Cool. No doubt. I sort of grant wishes in a limited capacity. I'm sort of like Weaver, sort of like Ilya, sort of on a very much smaller, not as evil scale like Halatash. I make deals, make contracts, and provide services and powers. And if you'd like, if you she air quotes wish it, I can help you. Because I'll be honest, Weaver, I did speak to Ilya a little bit. Weaver sounds like kind of a dick.
It kind of is.
Yeah, I don't recommend playing into that game. There's sort of this weird, there can only be one vibe, and that's sort of not a good vibe to have.
Yeah.
As someone who gives power to people. It's sort of like a, have you ever heard of a pyramid scheme?
I think somebody in the city tried to get me into one of those. It's where you can make money on your own, right? You can be your own boss.
No, it's so you heard the pitch. But what it actually is warlocks. It's sort of what you are. I don't know if you're aware. You kind of became one by accident. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Warlocks are sort of a pyramid scheme situation. You know, like, oh, if I hire one friend, you tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and then the guy at the top gets, all the rakes and all the shit, all the profit. It's sort of a dick way to do things. Ilya does it. Weaver is doing sort of a reverse version of it. Fucking weird. Don't know what the end goal there is. I don't like that gambit. I think it's a dick move. I'm sort of something of a girl boss, and I think that you should, I want to set you up with the skills that if something happens to me, you're good to go. On your own. And you can walk away anytime, and my contracts are very...
Right. I think you offered me a job before.
Yeah, I have an obligation to my girls to sort of keep their business to myself, but I'll say this. Everybody who works for me is someone who came from a situation that they needed help from. And you fit that bill. And so if I'm around, that offer extends to you.
Okay.
So I can talk to any of my girls. They're all willing to talk, and they'll tell you what's what. And if you don't trust me, you could trust them. And if you need help, I'm here to help you. And if you don't want help, that's okay. You may not need it,
Hmm.
but if you do, Gretel's around. And I'm everywhere, baby.
I've always really liked your vibe.
Oh, thank you.
I think it would be, I don't know, maybe I'm loyal to a default, but I think it would be rude to Ilya to cut it off. Well, I guess I'm not even connected to him anymore.
No, you're connected to this Weaver dickhead.
Yeah. I'm meeting with my friends in Sanctuary City later.
Yeah, I have a place
me and
there.
my brother too. Would you mind if I came and talked to you about your offer after that?
Always, you're always welcome. Even your rude friend. She also seems like she needs help.
She's not rude all the time.
I don't believe you. You're a nice girl.
She's soft on the inside.
Listen. You don't have to lie for her. If you feel the need,
No, I believe her.
we'll gloss over it. I'm sure you believe it. But she's very headstrong. You know what? You might be right.
Yeah, I think you should give her a chance.
I think she needs more help than she's right now willing to admit. Maybe you should talk to her about that. Maybe a little lock-it-in action. Sorry, that might go over your head. It's sort of a thing.
What action?
Don't worry about it. It's sort of meta. Talk to her about it. Gretel's here to help.
About what? Oh, that like you're willing to help her?
Yeah, she needs help. She could always deal with her father. I'm sure it's, Wait, did she tell you that? You know that already, right?
His dad, right? Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought I was about to explode in fire or something. I think I wasn't supposed to say that.
Oh no, I know the whole biz.
Cool, it's why I'm still alive. Good. Whew. Talked a little too quick. Yes, she might want to deal with her daddy. Which is totally cool. I get it. If you've got an in, you got an in.
Wait, why does she have to deal with her dad?
I mean, she doesn't have to, but if she wants to, she could get some pretty sweet powers for basically free.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, like, you have Eldritch Blast, right? That's a spell that you know, right? From
No.
Weaver.
What is that?
You don't know Eldritch? Are you serious? Hey,
No.
Weaver's a dick.
Yeah.
Sort of like the go-to warlock thing.
Really?
Yes! She, shoots a fucking Eldritch Blast off behind you, and, fire beams come out of her hand.
Whoa!
Yeah, you get that for free!
What?
Yeah, are you serious?
No! Yeah, I mean,
Weaver's... What was your speech? How did he approach you? Did he give you, a soft open, hey, I'm Weaver, and here's what you get if you sign over, your soul, or your firstborn, or whatever he has you pay for?
Well, I found a sword in the woods, and I kind of thought it was my dad's or something, and I knew there was, something in it, so it was kind of like my childhood friend. And I thought we were friends until I found out we weren't. And then I was just kind of stuck with him.
You fucking serious?
Yeah.
What a fucking creep! Really?
You know what? Yeah. You were right.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Right now? That's like waking up and finding out you've been in part of a religion or a cult for a year.
I didn't think about it that way, but you're right. It is weird that...
Yeah, that you didn't get a whole welcome to class, here's the first day of school sort of situation. You just got fucking sort of magic and you didn't question it and he didn't explain it.
I had the sword from such a young age. I thought we were kind of buddies.
Listen, Talk to
It is
Ilya.
weird that you
Talk to Weaver, I guess, if you can. If he does that, I don't know if he does that or not. Talk to
Yeah.
him. Talk to Ilya. Shop around. Gretel's here. That's all I'm saying.
Gretel or Grella?
Grella, sorry. It's been a weird day.
I am very, very tempted.
I'm not here to tempt you. I'm here to help you. So you figure your shit out.
You just seem like a really cool lady.
I'm just up front with my girls. And, if you want to have some magic powers that are related to, air, yeah, I mean, like, the whole flying thing. It wasn't a dead giveaway. I'm a djinn. There's like, I'm a genie. And there's like 4 kinds of genie, and I'm a djinn, specifically. I deal with air. It's why my girls fly on brooms. I make them for them. Yeah. And, you could, I could give you a broom. You could work for me if you want. You could do your own thing. You don't have to work for me. A lot of the girls I contract with end up needing a job, and so they get a fair wage, protection. No one messes with the wand girls. It's sort of a thing. Like, they have got immunity. They're neutral. Completely neutral. No territory will mess with you. Because I operate on true neutrality. We don't deliver war messages. It's sort of one of the clauses, as we don't do any sort of wartime stuff. Like, if the Queen of Elgrest was like, oh, I need to send a message to my troops that there's going to be an ambush, Grella's like, nope, pump the brakes. Send a runner yourself. We don't fuck around with that shit. That's your business. True like neutrality between nations. We don't mess around. So like, you got full immunity. Like, you could go to whatever country you want. No one's gonna mess with you. A bandit's still a thing. That's still a thing that could totally happen. Which is why I give you powers, so you could stop that shit. You can stomp them out. That's you totally could stomp out like some squib, no problem. Some noob, crush him. No problem. But no country is gonna, in any official capacity, fuck with you. So a lot of my girls end up working for me.
Makes a lot of sense too, because I don't know if I've told you this, but I can like contact people with my dreams. Like, I can just straight up have conversations with people. Like,
so you're pretty fucking juiced, huh?
I guess so. I mean, that fits with your whole messaging business.
Are you more than a warlock? Do you have some other kind of magic? Nature magic or something?
A little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're juiced.
I am.
Yeah, you're black wand territory for sure. Minimum.
What is Black Wand?
Oh, they're my stronger girls. I give them a faster broom. If you work for me, they can really handle sort of almost anything, really. Listen, if you want to get involved, we'll talk. If not, just think about it.
I will.
The offer stands. It's not, as long as you don't murder someone innocent, like, the offer will stand. Just think about it.
No. I'll think about it, Grella. I will.
Cool.
I will get back to you. Is it just the same person? Are you the same person everywhere?
I don't really advertise this, but yes, I am. I sort of have like a bunch of. I operate in different like realities.
Okay.
And then like when closing time happens, we all kind of slurp back together, and then we all I don't sleep technically. I sort of like mash all of what I learned in a day together. It's sort of why wand works so well.
Well, that is a lot to process, but I am very interested.
You're telling me I do it every night.
Well, I'm very interested. I think I don't even know if he remembers me, but I think I need to talk to Lillian at least. about
No, for
maybe
sure.
switching to you. But after that, I'll come talk to you.
Sure, I don't know who Lolly is. He sounds like a swell guy. Sure.
Ilian.
Oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah, sure, for sure. He's a good guy, I guess. I mean, yeah, sure, for sure. With that, Remy, would you like to touch on any of what you're doing? Home or no? If not, we can keep that a complete thing for the next game. We can move on to the next stage of this session.
You're muted.
I think Remy would be using the intelligence that she was able to keep from the Fates, and she would have one of those like fucking madman boards in her room with like the fucking strings everywhere.
Like fucking like Sunny in Philadelphia, that Sunny in Philadelphia meme.
Yes, like just like everything she remembers about like where the stones are, who's connected with it, and she's just like going off trying to figure out like where's the best place to start.
Okay, roll me an intelligence throw. Just straight intelligence.
$23.
Okay, by best place to start, be very specific about what you mean. Like, best place to start in regards to what?
Best place to start in terms of like if she's gonna like start trying to stop Halatash, where's the best place to go in order to do that? Because she knows where like several stones are. She knows like people connected with it, so she's trying to figure out like the best, basically like the best place to begin, and like put a plan together, basically.
Give me 1 minute. Okay. I have some pieces for you. I don't have like a full answer for you, because that's not really how I do business. But I'm gonna give you some pieces, and you as Remy can discern with your mood board, with your psycho mood board, how to interpret that. So as you're taking a lot of red yarn all over the place, as you're in your room, Kaius is concerned. Swinging by, asking if you're okay. He's taken full responsibility in this current moment of you-know-who. And your teacher essentially, like, giving you full reign. You have hit that stage of your apprenticeship where you're basically a full-fledged wizard. Like, you're only around to learn higher level shit, so you don't really even need to be around if you don't want to be. So he's sort of like, you're basically his family at this point. So he's just sort of like, yep, that makes sense. That every time he sees like a fucking like you like red stringing shit, he's like, yep, that tracks. Wizards are crazy.
She would probably have informed him too, because he knows she knows he's batty enough that he would just be like, okay.
He's full helping you if you want him to be. He fully, without question, like no rolls necessary, believes everything that you're saying. Kaius, on the other hand, is like, sure, honey. Uh-huh. He hasn't hit the crazy wizard stage yet. Because what happened never happened to him. As your master loves to say, a wizard doesn't become a real wizard until some fucked up shit happens to him. And Kaius hasn't had that happen to him yet. But it's happened to you. In different timelines, even. But your master fully, without question, jumps in to help you with your fucking psycho board. And you find out in conversing with him, with that 23, he's aware of the timelines. He didn't mention it to you because he's like, well, I'm going to use this to my advantage and my research and knowing what I know about the goings on of the city, invest in the right spots and get the right things and make the best deals and further my own research. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth sort of situation. But when you ask him for help because he realizes you remember and are probably the cause of it, he helps you. So with his help, your 23 becomes a much higher, well, it lowers the DC rather. And I'll say you have more options. You realize the lead and scales ring is still on my finger. There might be a chance they know some shit about what's going on. They might still be an option. They might still be allies. So there's that avenue. Sabine has contacted you, and Adria has contacted you via messages and dreams. You have a meeting set up. You're going to be talking to them and meeting with them in Sanctuary. You're going to be joining the initiative. While Kaius stays home and deals with the situation as it is. So there's that avenue. You're also aware of the several places where Kaius and you have found these stones. So you could pursue that. You could take possessions of the stones yourself. Perhaps they aren't in fact so secure after all. Perhaps you, with the help of the lead and scales, or with your party, or even just on your own, can make them more secure. You know of several powerful beings. Ilya, Grella, people who have contacts with gods. You know the coven of sea witches. You know people that could potentially help you in this situation, that are otherworldly, outside of those previous options. Your master brings up a fair point. What of Grimaldi? He is an unknown. He was also technically part of the Lead and Scales and a traitor. If you remember and still have the ring, and other members remember, what does Grimaldi remember? He might be a priority. Or if the Lead and Scales don't remember, it might be worth holding on to that information and keeping an eye on him. So that's what your master basically tips you off to, like, hey, you should keep an eye on Grimaldi in that situation, because that might be a problem. Because wizards are crazy. And they'd be wilding out here.
If there's a chance that he remembers, and it sounds like there is, she would probably send a letter off. Or actually, she is sending. She would just use sending to talk to the head of the witch coven and warn her about Grimaldi.
You receive a reply. He's very short. Noted. Still need BOP. Will contact when able. And you would know in this context, BOP stands for Base of Operations.
She has a month of doing all this, right?
Yeah. This is towards the end of that month. The day is drawing near when you have to get ready to get to Sanctuary. Your master has your mood board up. Your little Pinterest board. Your what the fuck is it called? Your dream board or some shit like that.
Fucking crazy ass board.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm talking about though, like where people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm manifesting."
Would she have enough time to fly over to that barbarian tribe and try and grab the crystal that's there?
Ooh, Roll me an intelligence roll first. With advantage. Because of your knowledge about the goings on and the timelines.
Ooh, I rolled a 3 and a 14, so I'm gonna take the 14. Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. You're aware that you were aware of, with the timeline as it is, the barbarian tribe has not yet obtained the gem. So as you think about that possibility, you remember, okay, they don't have it yet.
Oh, right. They raided
they-
the caravan.
Correct. But you know they will. And I'll say with the dirty 20, you're aware, like you get ready to contact them about it. If you contact them, there's a chance you could fuck up the timeline and they could miss it and not get it. You know where one will be, but if you interfere, you might make the situation. You could potentially help them in getting it and then contacting you about it, or you could fuck up and they could be on the lookout for it and then miss it if they don't continue how they normally do business.
See, this is why she has a crazy mood board.
Time? Like, I love this. I love that the new campaign is going to be us playing this game in, like, reverse. You're going to be talking to people that don't know you, and you're going to know everything about them. You know that, like, if you don't touch it, if you don't touch anything, you know what will happen. However, you also know there could be other players in the game with the same knowledge that you have that could fucking interfere. And the call is entirely yours to make.
Okay, she definitely wouldn't do that then. I think she'd just get ready to head to Sanctuary City. She would want like an order. She'd like put an order of events of like, this is when the barbarians get this. I know that the stone on the island is still there, and I believe there's one. Was it in Sanctuary City that Kaius bought that pendant?
Which pendant?
He bought a pendant.
The
that
black
was-
pendant?
Yeah, it was like a green stone. It was one of the stones, and he like absorbed its power.
He got it from someone in Clypeus. He got it from Grimaldi.
Right.
Couple things come together with that. Oops. Your lover isn't the only person who was a Halatash fanboy. It's all clear to you now. All the talks, the acceptance, the being given the items that he was given, the blood draw, the being involved in the leaden scales. Grimaldi was the perfect sleeper agent. I mean, you know what he is now. Good thing you went back in time.
Okay, yeah, with that knowledge, she'd just get ready to meet everybody.
Okay. We will cut to... It is the day of the initiative. It's the day of you all meeting in Sanctuary. You know, this afternoon that you all have to meet in the Quilted Square.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Have we talked about what has happened, or are we like, hey, so what actually happened here?
This is entirely your decision. You find yourselves... Let's pull up... It's been a hot minute since I've had to do this. Hold on, my dog. Son? Son? Who's barking? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Who's barking? Puppy. No, it's not Puppy. It's my older son. Fenrir. Fenbear, what you crying about? What you crying about? Oh!
I was originally thinking Sabine would reach out to Remy, but I think she's been pretty radio silent, helping her family.
Yeah, that feels
other
right.
than like a few like basic like, "Hey, is everybody okay?" messages.
And knowing that you're gonna meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels right.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like everybody is dealing with their own. Like everyone's playing it very close to the vest. Remy is dealing with her psycho mood board. Adria is dealing with a ton of internal family conflict. Sabine, again, very rightfully, dealing with her whole entire community, which is her entire modus operandi, not imploding. I feel like, again, like you guys setting up to meet in Sanctuary is sort of like, this is your first real conversation as a group. And let me see. Where is my Sanctuary City? You find yourselves... I forgot about this. You find yourselves in the Milk Mug.
Milk Mug.
That was the original tavern that Kaius and Knud and Zensika and Cora met in. It was suggested by Remy. She was the one who knew of a tavern. Adria, she was part of the second wave of initiative, so were you, Sabine. You guys never went to a tavern to kind of like bond. You guys went on a mission immediately, both of you, in your own individual ways. And Remy was never part of the initiative. Like, really, she slipped in to Kaius's position because of the way that her time slip worked originally with coming back into reality after having been written out. So you find yourselves all in the Milk Mug.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Am I alive?
What?
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean by are you alive?
Remy was, reborn. But she
Yeah.
never went in the book.
You never went in the book. You are an alive halfling. You are not reborn. You are
Oh damn!
you are fully
Ooh.
like your soul is in your like your corporeal body. You're insane, for sure. You're cracked. Like you're still a full wizard, as your master puts it. But you're not in between life and death anymore.
Shit.
Yeah. Listen, your fate card and what you chose fucked a lot of shit. And fixed a lot of shit. So you did a lot of goofing. But yeah, you all see Remy, and she is pink-cheeked and full of vigor. Not as you are normally used to seeing her.
She would have a table full of food. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
That's a fair point. You've never really seen her eat much.
That's true.
But she is a halfling, and she's alive now, like physically, like actually a living being. So she's eating like it's not like you both don't know what a halfling is. I'd say Adria, you very well know like halflings eat a lot. Like there are female paladins who are halflings that serve on the front lines. Sans, like they don't wear really like booted feet, but paladins nonetheless. They eat a lot. See Remy for the first time you've ever known of her eating.
Ooh.
like giant ass spoon of mashed potatoes in one hand and turkey leg in the other.
Adria will like sit down at the table slowly.
Mouthful of food, but like, go to your hair.
You look good.
Good to see you both.
Yeah. It's been a second.
Yeah, can we clarify what exactly the fuck happened?
Sabine's gonna wave to a waiter to bring drinks.
Adria gives her an appreciative look.
So you see that Scruff, an old Persian felis. It's been a hot minute since we've had a felis because Knud hasn't been around. But a felis is a very small tabaxi. You see Scruff, the owner. He runs the tavern, the Milk Bug. Kind of like sidles up, looks up to your table. What can I get you, ladies?
Ale is
take-
fine for me.
I'll take 2 ales.
2 ales for you. What about you? Points to you, Adria.
Just an ale is fine.
1 ale. Food.
Looks like we've got plenty here.
Yeah.
That's not for you. You've never eaten with a halfling, have you?
Are you gonna eat all of that, Remy?
Remy, like, mouth still like full of food, looks up and just goes back to eating.
Yeah, she didn't order it for you. If you want to eat, you need to order your own.
Toast?
Toast. He looks you up and down. There's no way toast keeps that going.
True.
Turkey leg, 2.
Do you have
Yeah,
steak?
turkey leg's fine.
Alright, turkey leg and toast. Got it. You, ma'am?
Do you have any red meat?
Yeah, what do you want?
I don't know, like steak?
Yeah, rare. Like, what do you, rare, medium rare.
Let's do rare.
Okay. Cold or warm?
Let's do warm.
Okay. Salted or not?
Salted.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. Salted, warm, rare. Toast and mutton. Toast and a turkey leg. 1 ale. 2 ales. Anything else?
The
Great,
mouthful-
thank you.
Milk is
Mouthful of
complimentary.
food.
Milk is complimentary.
Remy will raise a hand for milk.
Oh my god.
Another pitcher, you got it.
Oh Jesus.
Complimentary. She's gone through 2. I'll bring 2 pitchers back. In case your friends want any. Alright. Good shit. I'm just gonna assume you're good for it. And he walks away. Shortly after, he brings it all back. It's not pricey. Prices in Sanctuary are very fair. I don't remember what your starting shit was. But essentially it's about 2 silver for both of you.
Okay.
No, sorry, a silver for both of you. Because this is a very nice establishment. It's middle of the road, but you've ordered a lot of food.
Okay.
And ales and stuff, so you get everything
Okay.
you ordered, and you are now essentially, figuratively, alone.
Adria will turn back to the topic at hand and say, so, anyone have any insight?
I was gonna ask you two. It's all kind of a blur to me. You disappeared and I disappeared at the same time. I don't. Remy, care to explain?
She'll swallow her food and we're back in time. Look at that.
Yeah, but how? What happened?
Obviously, one of the cards we drew was able to alter events.
Did you draw that card?
Didn't you get a wish card?
Yes, but Ilya has very much detailed that the wish didn't work. So something else happened.
Just tell us, Emmer. Tell us, Remy. I know we're not. I don't know. I know you don't really consider us friends, but we've been together enough. And you can be clear with us.
Remy's mind slowly going through her crazy mood board, making sure telling them isn't gonna fuck anything over. Yeah, I got the fate card. Mm-hmm.
Fate card.
Yep, I just changed a little something about history, and well, here we are.
What did you change?
Not super important.
I think it's very
She
important.
gestures around, yeah, and agrees with Sabine. Obviously, it is.
Taking another big bite of potatoes and swallowing it, and she... Listen, I could go into the intricacies of what I've done here, but I think it would go over both of your heads. Just know that I have temporarily subverted a crisis.
I feel like by now, Adria would be able to tell when Remy's deflecting.
Yeah.
Both of you may roll insight, and Remy, you may roll persuasion or deception. But I think we all know which one you're rolling.
I'll roll in the chat since it's
I was gonna say if it's
Yeah,
in the chat.
everybody can roll in the chat.
Yeah.
Look at you said insight.
Yep, insight. You're
Right.
detecting. You're trying to see if there's a lie. This is wisdom.
Here, give me 1 second. I'm gonna check something.
I do have a good insight, which is good.
I have a question, Steve.
I have an answer.
Headcanon is that Bean has been growing like slowly more disillusioned with Remy's way of doing things. Would she be aware enough to use magic to boost this insight check?
What do you mean by magic?
She has a druid ability that gives her a benefit to wisdom checks, like insight and stuff.
What ability is that?
It is the dragon's starry form. When you make a wisdom check, you can treat a roll of 9 or 10.
Is this something you do while you're in your form, or is it something that you could just do?
It would be something she would activate. Like, she would be like, and then...
I would allow it. I would say that, yes, you saw Remy... Because if it was Adria, I would say no. But because you saw Adria get goaded by Remy, and then fucking get her soul yeeted, you Sabine, are skeptical of Remy. I would say that you have that right.
Okay. I would say that it's pretty clear that like constellation patterns kind of like form across her skin because she's in Furbolg right now, and she stares Remy down as she does this.
So I rolled way higher than Remy.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be hard. I got 6.
I got 22.
Okay.
So
Adria
Adria would call her out on it for sure.
She got a 4, so she'll treat it as a 10 or an 8.
Yeah, you both know that Remy's full of shit. Easily. She's not as like in this form that she's now in. Like you all have like full recollection of the past. Mm-hmm. Remy is wholly a living being, fully living, not as accustomed to hiding her emotions as she used to be, not as accustomed to lying, not as accustomed to keeping things back from you both. And you both were starting to become adept at reading her beforehand. Now it's like she's a fucking open book. Easily she's lying.
Acting. Why don't you tell us what really happened?
I told you what happened. I got the Fates card and I changed history.
What history?
Remy,
Yes.
Remy, I know we've only known each other, but Adria and I have extended every courtesy. When you were distraught that night, I supported you, no questions asked. And when that idiot kind of asshole guy, Mr. Peppers or whatever his name was, when he wanted to take your book away, I was there with you. I told you I would stick by you if you kept your book in order to save your friend Kaius. I think I don't know, maybe we're not friends yet in your mind? We know each other well enough that you don't have to... I don't know, you don't have to keep up the smoke and mirrors. We've had your back so far.
He sits for a second. I made it so Kaius and I never found the temple of Halatash in the first place.
Wait. You see Adria, thinking. And are you saying you're the reason he comes?
She grabs a pitcher of milk and just starts drinking.
That's
Adria
good
puts a
point.
hand on the pitcher and pushes it down. And she answer the question.
No.
Is that a lie?
Roll an insight check. Remy, roll deception unless you feel like you're you're bullshitting and you know it's obvious.
It's straight up. Yeah, she's lying. Like,
you don't have to roll, like, you know. It's her. It's not necessarily her and Kaius' fault. There's more information to this. But Remy, in her mind, is lying to you. She wished for what she wished for, and it erased everything that happened. Remy and Kaius, to a degree, the degree is to be determined, responsible for the events that occurred in a timeline you came from.
Adria looks at Sabine.
Sabine would know that too, right? She'd glean.
Absolutely.
Remy, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge you. Whatever happened in the past. Clearly, the insane risk you took worked out in the end. I think it's okay to tell us. I'm not gonna judge you much.
it didn't happen, so we're not at fault.
It's good you set things right.
I gave us time. He's still coming. And you can see, like, she kind of, like, puts both hands on the table and sits up a little bit, eye twitching, so, like, there are more pawns at play. Too many players.
I was gonna ask if... It sounds like the threat isn't over. Just kind of got a second chance. Right?
And it sits back in her chair and must act quickly, but carefully.
Where do you recommend we start?
Here. We start here. One of us is here. She kind of gestures to the ring.
The lead and scales ring?
Yeah.
I think Sabine is gonna kind of fold her... She's gonna knock back one of her drinks and then fold her arms a little bit. And go, Remy, I hope it's clear by now that I have your back. You are a powerful woman, and I respect your strength and your tenacity, but if I'm gonna help you with this, I think we need to set it straight that maybe we keep things a little more transparent. I can't... When we drew those cards, Remy, I draw them willingly. You didn't... I just want to make it clear that you didn't have to doing... You could have just straight up...
You're cutting out quite a bit.
Oh, am I cutting out?
For me, at least.
Sabine's just gonna... She's essentially saying, like, I've got your back. I want to help with this, but I'm not cutting out still, am I?
No, you're good.
No, you're good now.
She's expressing the desire that, like, I've got your back. I want to help with this, but moving forward, I want things to be a little more transparent and equal between us. You know, there can be more to this than just a professional relationship, Remy. I don't want you to hide things. Well, you can hide things, but you don't have to manipulate or... we're just on your side, and I want us to be on the same page. I don't know if it makes sense, but...
Wait a minute. Who have you talked to?
Who have I talked to?
Have you told anyone? Either of you?
Nothing.
Yes.
I mean, I guess I gave my family, like, the generic spiel of time travel.
And my family.
Did you change anything? Have you altered anything?
To be determined, but hopefully.
Yes. It's part of the reason I'm not entirely mad with you. I got a second chance to save my family, and I took it. They're hermits.
Remy would reach down into her like pack that she has with her and pull out just a horrid mess of like papers.
Like, I need you to tell me everything you told them. And when, and what they did.
Remy, roll me an intelligence check for two intelligence checks. One for Sabine, one for Adria.
Can I specify that I don't think Sabine would have told her mother about Halatash?
Yeah, you didn't mention Halatash to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Remy, roll me an intelligence check for Adria and for Sabine. First we'll do Sabine, then we'll do Adria.
God damn it, my dice rolled on the floor. Hold on.
You hate to see it.
I can't find what she's. Don't like that one as much. $15 and $19.
Okay, so for Adria, you're fairly confident it's okay. You're not entirely sure because the entity of Ilya is involved. For the most part, you're like, her family knowing shit, not a big problem. Ilya knowing shit, he's a big player. He might be a problem. And by problem, I mean like less like, he's going to be involved in hurting the problem, and more like he's an unknown. You're fairly confident with what Adria has told you that she's told everybody. It's not going to hurt your chances against Halatash. If anything, it might help, but it's hard to be certain. Because Ilya is a wild entity. With
There
Sabine,
would be a poorly drawn stick figure with horns of Ilya with just question marks all around it.
Yep. Totally fair. With Sabine, in your 19 roll, fairly confident it's not going to affect the timeline in any significant way. It looks like her family is, for the most part, fairly isolated. They don't venture from the forest. The only thing that's going to be affected by what Sabine has told them is the people who live within the forest, which, from everything you know, they're literally just awoken animals. So, what real effect are they going to have on the world? None. The only real effect it's had, it seems like to you, in your opinion, is that Sabine seems more focused. Adria has this ton of family drama. Totally valid, totally understandable. Sabine seems like, cool, my family, their situation, it's totally known to me. I've totally got a handle on it. My family now has a handle on it. I'm invested in saving the world at this point. you're fairly confident that Sabine hasn't touched the timeline in any significant way that's going to affect any issues.
Okay, she would stop jotting everything down and.
Okay. Okay, I think we're all right. Okay.
I would say Sabine definitely looks less chained to responsibility.
Very valid.
Yeah. So you were saying something about the ring and somebody here?
Yes. The head of the initiative. Here, he'll be here. If we can get close enough, he'll know we're here.
Not Taco, right? Who is the head of the initiative? Other than Mr. Pepper.
You're aware that there's not a head of the initiative. There's council members, part of the Sanctuary City Council, but Council Member Takeo is the one who headed the initiative. He is the one who proposed it, and he's a big proponent of it.
Right.
He did get the full support of the entire council, but he is the one who proposed it initially. He is a member of he was a member of the royal family of Krissune before he forsookeneth his titles. He's no longer in line for the throne, instead opting for a full political career here in Sanctuary. He is the one who has decided that the first step to healing relations between nations, nation relations, as it were, is to do this initiative. So he is the one who proposed the initiative in the first place. And you are aware he is a person who was part of the Leaden Scales.
I know he appears. I guess I was part of the second initiative, Remy, but in the second initiative, he came to personally talk to the recruits. He might show up like last time to this first batch of recruits. We could catch him then, right after the ceremony.
Yes, we need to talk to him.
Why?
All right.
Get things going. Get a plan. I've already reached out. Securing a base of operations.
Remy, would it be beneficial for me to scry on the location? Or, does Sabine know this? Does Sabine know that, like, there were locations these keys were located at? Did Remy mention that there was a temple? I don't remember.
I don't think Remy did.
Okay.
So I think it's on Sabine to roll me a history check.
Sure. I can do that. Let's see. Ooh, that's my best stat.
Is it?
No.
Is it history intelligence?
That's
I was
a
gonna say,
man.
that tracks. You remember mention of like stuff, so you know Remy has in her head where stuff was, but you yourself don't. You're not aware of like where stuff is at, especially in the timeline. With how fucky the timeline is, you're very lost. You were already sort of lost in the previous timeline of like where shit happened at and where what was found. Now that like you're in this timeline, you're like, I have no clue where shit's at.
Remy, clearly you have a history with this. I understand that. Would it be beneficial for me to spy on any location or just keep tabs on them on a daily basis?
No. Don't want to scry. Scry can be detected. And if it's detected, It changes things.
Okay.
The tavern/bar owner sidles up to your table. I can take more orders, but if you guys are part of the initiative, which I assume you are, you might want to get going.
Is that starting soon? The ceremony?
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah, people are starting to gather in the Quilted Square.
Okay.
Could I get a basket of fried potato skins to go?
Oh my god. Why are you eating so much?
Whoa, why are you judging?
You gotta
No,
pack
no,
on
no.
the calories.
You don't understand. I knew her from a while ago, and she never ate.
You don't understand halflings. Like, you're being kind of a dick here.
I traveled with
Yeah.
her forever. She's not a normal halfling.
That's fucking rude. Yes,
Oh my god.
yeah, hun. Fried potato skins for the road, not a problem.
Once he's gone, she'll lean down to Remy and be like, but like, really, why are you eating so much?
Remy will
You
look
look-
at her and she'll be like,
Have you ever gone what feels like literally years without a drop of water or a hint of a morsel touching your tongue?
I'm guessing you have?
she'll just slowly grab the pitcher on the table, start drinking.
Well, I'm glad you can eat again. Adriel will slam back the last of her ale and stand up.
Once Val comes back, we will finish with the final piece, the epilogue.
Yeah, fuck, I didn't even think about that I would be alive.
Right? I didn't either until you mentioned it. I forgot you were reborn. Man, oh man, I can't wait for the next campaign. Our campaign part 2. It's weird to call it next campaign because it's basically just a continuation.
Cool, though.
Thank,
That was a
thank
good
Lavere,
conversation.
Thank your husband for choosing what he did, for pulling the Fates card and doing what he did. It was going to be a very different game. It was almost a time stop campaign, to be honest with you. Where you guys were going to be moving through and everything was going to be just fucking still.
Okay, I'm back.
Alright, so we can start the epilogue.
Cool.
Okay. You all pay your tab, stand up, begin walking out. You all walk to the Quilted Square. Very familiar fashion. Deja vu. Everything at this point has been deja vu for you all. Which begs the question, what is deja vu? But neither here nor there. You get given a slip of paper and get told, don't open this till when you're told. From what you remember, people who opened it immediately disqualified from the initiative. So you're also aware that when you open this, your number gets shown, and that's the squad you're assigned to. The speech, and the council shows up. You see the council members, the three main council members part of the initiative that are helping here. The Black Tabaxi sorcerer, the Dwarven council member, Tego, the Elven council member. Each give their speeches verbatim what you remember. almost exactly what you remember.
Quick question, Steve.
Uh-huh.
This is the first round, right? Not the second?
Correct.
Dang, okay.
This is the first initiative.
Alright.
You're standing there listening. Someone sneezes. Avery, you look off to your left. You see a felis, a hairless felis, kind of wiping his face with the back of his hand. Not really seemingly paying attention. In front of you, Remy, you see a stiff-backed, at attention, almost soldier-like, purple-scale dragonborn.
Oh.
Sabine, you see off far to the right a masked cleric. Very familiar to you.
Hmm.
Which strikes you as odd. He wasn't part of the first round.
I was gonna say.
He was part of the second.
Oh, shit.
Something's going on with the timeline. You get the feeling something's off. But you all wait. You all listen. You all plan. The final words by Representative Takeo are spoken. You all get ready to speak your oath in acknowledgement. And things all begin to change. Something is not quite right with the timeline. Things all begin to tinge green. You You all look up. The barely visible 2 moons become 3. Something's not right with the timeline. Remy, you see the 3rd moon. You may not have bought as much time as you thought.
Everyone would just hear Remy yell, "Fuck!"
And with that, we will end this portion of the campaign.
Hell yeah.
Well,
I was gonna ask Steve, is there a time where I could do a little RP session, Ilya?
Yeah, depends on what you're looking for it to do.
I think Sabine is gonna take Grella up on her offer.
Okay.
But she wants to talk to Ilya first. And that doesn't have to be like tonight, or it can be tonight. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that we should hold off on it. I think that it'd be a very good. When would you have done it? Would you have done it right after this? Would you have done it before it?
I think she would have done it right before this.
Okay. We can do it real quick if you'd like. I don't know how long you think it would take. Ilya would essentially be like, I'm not going to get involved in this, so Ilya doesn't even need to necessarily be involved. Your contract is technically with Weaver currently.
I think she wants to talk to Ilya. That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to stick around, we can do that really quick, or if you guys want to dip, like, if DJ and Lavere want to dip, you can.
I think I'll take you up on that, just because I've been up since 5 this morning.
Totally valid.
But this was really good. I loved the ending.
Yeah, I figure we can probably chat in general, or we'll meet before I deploy, and like we can.
Absolutely.
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
we'll do
I
game
think
nights and stuff.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to also, if you guys wanted to, like, do like a, hey, like, I've got more questions about, like, everything that happened until this point. Like, we could do another one of those, because I know the last time we did it, it was very, like, no one expected it to happen. So if you guys want to, like, sit and think about more questions you have, like, hey, like, oh, this NPC, like, what was the deal with that? Like, could I get more insight into that? Like, knowing what I know now, like, or like this thing that happened, like, now that I know this, like, what does X mean? Like, I'm totally down to do another, like, a non-recorded session where we talk about that.
For sure.
Because I've got nothing but time, because the only game I have right now is every other Thursday until Lavere starts up his other campaign.
Quick question: It was at 4th level. We got an ASI and a feat, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Just gotta say, I'll go
With the
ahead.
switch to Chrono G, I'm having to go through and redo my character sheet. I'm trying to remember everything that.
Yeah,
happened.
valid.
Cool.
The
Cool.
Adria's
Alright.
family roleplay was super cool, by the way. I know you gotta go, but
Oh,
just
thank
one.
you.
Yeah, sorry that went so long. I felt bad,
Oh no,
No,
but it was good.
I felt bad because I was like having to talk us 5 different fucking people. I was like, am I
Honestly,
doing
I
this?
thoroughly enjoyed it. I was like, how is Steve gonna sit and talk to himself?
I'm glad I had alcohol to help. I would love to take credit, but I give my credit to wine.
Oh man.
Much
All
as
right, you
Ilya
guys.
does.
We'll chat soon.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. All right, Sabine. Lavere, if you want to say, you can totally listen.
I'm dipping too. Sorry.
Cool. No worries. I just want to have this on record.
Talk to you later.
Later.
Bye. Okay. So you wanted to speak to Ilya and to Grella.
Yeah, I think she would. She can't really contact Ilya, so she probably would have gotten Adria to contact him or something.
You could have gone to Grella, and Grella would have brought him there.
Okay.
Because they're sort of like, they run in similar veins, so like it wouldn't be like, it's basically like you're in Grella's shop. It's Ilya's there, you're there, and Grella's there, and Ilya's like, "What am I doing here?" I guess.
Hey, Ilya.
Hello.
Okay, first off, how much do you remember of me?
Most of everything. I know that you're still bound to Weaver. You end up becoming bound to me. There's some fuckery that I was involved in. It sort of worked out for you in the end. So, but you're not bound to me currently, so you don't owe me anything.
Well, I wanted. I don't know. I make connections really easily, and I just wanted. I felt like it was necessary for me to you.
I mean, I appreciate your candor.
Yeah.
He looks to Grella. Both Grella and I operate similarly. We treat the people who operate under us with respect and kindness. If you wanted to work for me, you'd be most welcome. You're a friend of my daughter, so you'd be given the utmost respect. You'd be given tasks, of course, but nothing untoward, or nothing that would go against you or my daughter's sensibilities, or would put you or my daughter in unnecessarily harm's way. But I won't chastise you or hold it against you if you decide to go with Grella. I completely understand. She has, perhaps for you, a better deal.
Yeah, I had a really good time with you. You showed me what a good patron, and honestly, like I really loved being your warlock. But I think I was kind of forced into your patronage, kind of like how I was with Weaver, and I'm finding myself with a little more agency in the moment, and I think
You got a lot of people vying for you. Yeah, you're sort of like
Yeah.
being scouted by a bunch of different teams. Totally get it.
I
You're a hot
think it
commodity right now.
need to
Yeah.
make well in this moment.
Yeah, you're totally you're free to make whatever decisions you want to make. When you chose me initially in the previous timeline, for lack of a better way to say it, you made the best of a bad situation. You could have stuck with Weaver, but would have had sort of a dead end there. You would have had to have gone a different route in pursuit of power. But I sort of gave you a new avenue because I was who was available to you. And now you're making a new decision because you've got more people willing to work with you, which is valid. You have to make the best deal you can possibly make. You're not going to get qualms from me. Know that
Mhm.
if something happens or falls through, I'm going to be there to try to pick up the tab, and sort of
I
get you
appreciate
on the squad. You're again a hot commodity, but I'm not going to hold it against you for making the best deal possible. I would in fact hold it against you if you try to do something negligible to you out of obligation. Maybe I would rethink having you on. You got to make the smart choices and the smart plays.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily want dum-dums on my team.
Right. Yeah, I just think this is a new chapter for me, and I honestly I would love to do work for you still, but
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, listen, you can be an employee and not a warlock. That's totally a thing. You can
I would
still
love.
work in the like. Listen, everyone who works in my arena isn't like a warlock.
Speaking of which, what's the deal with Tegan now? I thought you
What do you mean?
kind of seemed like in the previous timeline you were trying to get rid of him, and is he just stuck with you now? Now that I'm
I
not.
mean, he's there. He's still bringing in money. I mean, he's there. I mean, you being there for him to take your power from means he's kind of gonna sit here for a while. I mean, he's still making me money. It's fine. He's an employee. I mean, he's just an insufferable prick. But I mean, he's not, he's still good for business. He only left previously because he advanced to the next level of his patron's sort of like checklist. So he was no longer of use to me. So it was nice to get rid of someone who was so insufferable, but he's not, it's not a problem.
So you wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm too obsessed with Weaver. I might have to drop it my sanity, but so you wouldn't be entirely upset if I came and challenged him again and
No.
potentially.
I mean, I make a lot of money. I mean, you're still, it seems like you have the strength you had previous. So I mean, I'm totally fine if you want to come and help me make money. Just know that it's going to make there's more unknowns you're introducing. I would speak to your friend Remy about that. You're going to meet if you beat Tegan, that's going to mean he is going to lose his patron. He's going to do different things in that timeline, and then you would advance with Weaver, which means you might do different things. Now, if you beat him as a different kind of warlock, I mean, he stays as he is, but he is still going to do different things. You have to. Time is weird. It's why chronology wizards are sort of like they're not outlawed, but frowned upon.
I couldn't still break his thing. I thought. I don't know. Ewan Baxter seemed like he did that.
Yeah, you have to break them in a way. Like they still are patrons of Weaver. You'd have to take his weapon from him.
No, that'd be mean.
Yeah, Ewan is a sort of special case. He sort of knows the ins and outs of how being a he's sort of he's the headmaster of the warlock class and curriculum in the Elgrest Magic Academy, so he knows the ins and outs of warlock patronage, so he would know how to break those weapons.
I see. Well, either way, that's not a huge priority. But
Yeah,
I just wanted to say thank you for taking me on when you did.
For sure, and I will be there if and when you falter again, because I am always around to make a deal. But it sounds like you and Grella have some things to talk about, and I'm going to dip, because this is gonna be awkward if I stay around.
See you around.
Yes, I will be around. And he turns on his heels and winks. You see he has a sword at his belt that he doesn't normally have. And it has a very familiar cat emblem that rolls its eye at you as he disappears.
I flip it off as he goes.
Nice. But you're sitting there now with Grella. That was weird.
I know. I'm just sentimental. I felt like I needed to talk to him before.
No, you're a good person. That's a very upstanding thing to do. Are you here? Am I involved with this because you're looking to make a clean break from Weaver? Or what's the deal?
Yeah. I mean, is that possible? Can you just take me from Weaver, or?
Yeah, I'm more powerful than him for 100%. He's sitting there fucking around with this weird Hunger Games bullshit. Hunger Games is a book in another world. It's sort of a Highlander situation, which is a book from another world. Long story short, he's kind of a fuck, and I'm more powerful than him.
Oh yeah, I get it. I kind of got the gist from him.
For sure. If you're looking for a genie patron, then I'm the one. Kiddo.
Yeah, I would love to work for you.
And you begin to negotiate with Grella. And I will say that your patron would then change. You would now be a genie warlock, specifically a djinn, the air warlock.
Could I remain a hexblade with the option to become a genie, or would I just become a genie?
You would have to fully switch.
Okay.
You would either need to remain to be a hexblade. You would either need to remain weavers, or you would have to go to Ilya, who had the ability to sort of shift around between a couple different ones. Ilya had the ability to be three different warlock patrons. He was able to be the fiend, hexblade, or archfey.
Oh, okay.
He has the ability because of his. I based him off of like the player character that he used to be. He was a fey wanderer, so he could have been an archfey. He also became a prince of hell, so he could have been a fiend. And because of his some of his rogue abilities he had, I was going to allow him to be I allowed him to be a hexblade.
Okay.
He had some shit with weapons when he was alive that he understood them in a very intimate way. So that's why he was able to do hexblade. So he had logically, I gave him 3 different avenues that he could have pursued for you, which is why he showed up when he did. This patron specifically is specifically a djinn, a genie who is a djinn, specifically.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to work with that. I'm not entirely sure. Would you be willing to allow me to respec a little bit to make that work?
Yeah, for sure. Within the confines of your current stats, you could move some stuff around. We could totally what we'll do is you can send me your current character sheet as it stands, and then we can look at reworking it.
Absolutely.
What that will also mean is in addition to your normal starting stuff, you will be given a broom of flying.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you get she gives that to everybody who works for her. Whether you work for her in the capacity of wand or not, that's just something you get.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because she's
great.
yeah, that's my whole deal is air and flying and freedom, and I want you to have the ability to get the fuck out of Dodge if you need it. A good warlock, a dead warlock is not a good warlock.
Right. Hell yeah. Yeah, I see this as kind of starting to get rid of her grudge.
Yeah, it'll be different for sure, and you may have to rethink how you do business. But it might be interesting to see how you play it out. And if you decide to go back to Ilya or Weaver or whomever, that's an option you have.
Okay.
Your weapon with Weaver, the gem does oh, you didn't have any gems.
I think she had 2 gems.
You did at one point, but now that time is reversed, you had none.
Ah, okay.
But your weapon sort of when you switch to Weaver, it becomes heavier in your hands. So it's one of those things where it's you now have to have the weapon proficiency with the weapon to use it because you're no longer a hexblade. So we'll, like you said, we'll respec it and look at it and see what needs to change and what your starting equipment will look like and what the Weaver's weapon will do and all that good stuff. But yeah, send me your initial character sheet. We'll take a look at it. Tell me what you think you want to change, and I'll work with you on it.
Sounds great. Absolutely.
For sure. Well, that was good, and we'll all chat sometime soon.
Fantastic. Well, I